Hello, everybody. Ryan Carpenter here with P45 Knuckle Down Golf. How y'all doing? Coming to you from No BS Golf. That's right. We don't mess around in here. We get right down to it. We do not sugarcoat it. We tell you how it is. Right now, here, Central Georgia, baby. Warner Robins, Houston County, whatever you want to call it. We got the best. We got everything. Everything you need. And we're growing and expanding and it's getting better. We got more times, we got more tools, we got better facilities, we got everything you could possibly think of right here to get you what you need for your golf game. And it is spring and it is sprung and golf is here. And we want to get the next batch going because I've got 7 players that made some huge strides over the past 8-9 months that are now experiencing the best golf of their lives. Anywhere from 5 to one fella's got like 15, 16 strokes better now since last season. And so we can do it. And I wanted to bring this in and bring this up today because before I get to the other fun part, the RBC just started, is that there's no secret. A lot of people are thinking, and feeling like they, maybe there's a secret. Maybe there isn't. There's no magic. There is no secret. In fact, what I do is I have this typically with me no matter where I go. And if there's a secret, it's just simply committing to a process and then doing something about it. Get better. Don't complain. Don't wow, woe is me. Like, do something about it, right? That's the secret. And so I've taken 25 years of dedicated study and my own learning, working with other top 50 Golf Digest instructors over the years and great teachers at different facilities, including Golf Tech, where I spent, about 7 years or so with them. And I got lucky. I got to work with some of the best teachers. And so it's a combination of things. And then it's also the experience that other players have gone through in this process over the past, 20 years with me or so, and the ones that in there, and it's on there. I've got a couple of the fellas that are on the YouTube. Go check it out right now. No BS Golf. Obviously, you're already here. Go look at the one with the 2 guys from this season, and then go look at I had Reagan up there. Reagan's one of my best players ever, and it's not mine. I didn't do it. There's no magic. There's no secret to what happened. It's we stuck to a process. We worked our way through it. He put in the effort and the time. He earned it. The reason he's a great player today is because of him, not because of me. So, it's based off that. You got to commit. You got to make the effort. And so this goes back maybe 12. Anyways, back in the early 2000s, anyways, somewhere in there. And top teachers, most improved students. And so this is no different than what happened at the club level. So let's start there, right? The guys that was always the best players, club champion type players, always winning on the weekend, matches. And everybody, man, he's so good. How do you get so good? I'm like, look, when you're not here Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, and you only come out for your one round early on the Sunday or Saturday morning, you're not seeing the rest of the week. He's here for a few hours every single day doing something about his game. And I get it. Someone said, I ain't got that kind of time. I'm like, then you got to, have more realistic expectations. And even though that don't mean you can't get better, it just means you're not going to get better as fast as you could. It's just going to take a little longer. That's the thing. So, but it's the same thing. It's the guys that put in the time and the effort, whether it's at that level of just application level is what I call it, proper prep for play, or in the development cycle, because there's 2 sides of this thing, and that's the thing. You got to come learn. Evaluation lesson, Masters celebration still going on, 50% off. Hit me up. Let's go. Until you go through that process, there's no way to explain all this properly to you. So, but anyways, so we got about 6 different, I think, people in here. 18-year-old, 65-year-old lady, and 2 ladies there. Kirk here, he's 31, 36, Mr. Chad here, and what do we got? John at 52 years of old, young age there. So different players and all different levels. We got a 3.0, a 30 handicap, couldn't be any more different than that. A 105 shooter. a 5 index 5, and a 30 handicap again. So broad range of skill sets and different players. And even though there's a lot of differences, age, man, woman, different skill level, shooting level, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. Each one of them, and it kind of stories each of them, but I can boil it down to a pretty simple explanation. They found their coach and their course, and they went on and they went into working with them. And on average, let's see, 18, 13. So if I remember correctly, I want to say it was 16, 14. Yep, 2 years. So on average, it was 16 to 18-ish months of working with that coach. And all these people got, it says who they are and what they do, their professions, and college, earning a degree. All while earning a degree, damn it. And a state senator, for crying out loud. There we go. Operations manager guy. Managing partner of a law firm. So these aren't people that are just, out with nothing to do in their lives. They got a ton of shit going on in their lives, just like you. So they all committed. And because they didn't have 4 or 5 hours a day every day to work on something, they simply said, all right, what's it going to take? The coach said, well, it's going to take a while. I mean, it's going to be like next year probably. That's just how it goes, right? And so they said, all right, fine, whatever it takes. Let's earn it. Let's earn it. Do something about it. That's what it's all about. So there's no magic. There's no, sprinkle the fairy dust and poof, you're Tiger Woods. That's not how it works. So get into the evaluation lesson. That's the most important part, because that step gets you started in the right direction. It's going to give you all of the information you need, documented. I send it all in email form with lots of notes and good stuff with it. And, then you have a way of knowing and seeing the path to glory and where you want to be and how to get there. And I'll explain it from the conversations I've just had recently with my playing lessons. There are things that, like yesterday, one of my fellows, we was out there and working through some stuff, and he kind of was like, I could see how we couldn't really go over this, 8 months ago. I said, see, I know, because we had to kind of, there's a process of development. There's layers of adding information and giving players things to keep them going and getting better. And you have to be careful with how you kind of evolve through this process, because if I make a misstep, first of all, shame on me if I do, damn it. I can't afford to do that. I've done this long enough that I got everybody kind of figured out for the most part. Good enough to be able to put them in position and move through a process and figure out along the way, because that's part of the job too. I got to figure people out, and sometimes it takes 5-10 lessons just to figure individuals out. But there's this layering process of information, and day one, for example, I may not get into high level kinematic sequence understanding, and see, that's the difference too. Since the days of the past, we've also now, while we can't necessarily speed up the process per se, I mean, we have for sure. 20 years ago, this would have been a 10-year project for most amateurs. So now we boil it down to at least a year or two. But the thing is that we have so much more better information. And I have been, not everybody's studying that information. Even yesterday, I went online and got a little more nugget of goodness from some of these guys that are studying at a higher level. And so being able to apply that information. So, when you go to the kinematic sequence and understand it, well, now we also have the ability to understand not just the intensity graphing and when the explosions occur, but within the kinematic sequence formation, we know specifically how to measure and dial in the actual true, what we call inputs and the degrees of inputs and the timing within the sequence of inputs and how it can all match up correctly versus not. And so how different things like hand paths move and what it affects and how it truly understands the formation of what we see on that little 2-dimensional video camera. So there's a time and a place for everything, and you kind of have to know when and where to go and ebb and flow with each player to know how to appropriately do that. So that's why there's no secret, but it takes time. It takes a while to get through, dive into all that, and figure out how to eventually get the player to the other end. And the goal is to get them to that side to where I tell people it sounds funny, but like, I don't want you to come back through the door no more. That's my job, dang it. So you got to get good. And it takes a while because players' ability to be self-aware with like their true, like what I call abilities is hard. And then being able to call it self-diagnose, within themselves what's going on. And eventually it's very rare that, for example, like a Reagan who spent 6.5 years with me, 6 years, in golf tech, and then another 10 years post trying to play professionally. And so, we got to the point where it was like, yeah, we might have a quote unquote lesson, once every 3-6 months, he got good enough. It just wasn't a necessity. The little spot checking is what I called it. I'd come in and simply spot check some stuff and kind of say, well, hey, I'm curious about this. Where did this come from? What's the idea here? Walk me through this idea or thing you're doing and tell me what, and then we might tweak it a little. Say, okay, I see. Well, okay, maybe do it this way though instead, kind of stuff. And so that's the goal. So there is no magic. There is no secrets. It's just you gotta come in and dive in, commit to the plan. Committing to the plan is the first key step to ever getting you anywhere near where you want to be. So enough of that for today. RBC Heritage on the television, on the streaming televisions for you older folk. It's fun. So Harbor Town. This is an incredibly unique place. Right here in Georgia. More Georgia golf for you, folks. It's destination course. I'll tell you that right now. And it's such a cool place. Sitting right there, nestled up. You got the little actual harbor town where all them big boats are parked, and it's a cool golf course. It's a hard golf course, and it's a lot of fun to have, these kinds of things. We got very similar in ways to the obviously Sea Island, which is right around the corner and down the coast, not too far. So similar in nature to that, but really cool golf course, really cool tournament, hard. Especially if those winds get kicking. I'll tell you what, this thing can be like brutal type hard. If you get some heavy gust winds kicking in, I mean, it's beautiful down there right now, which doesn't surprise me. It's beautiful right here in Central Georgia. So really cool tournament. Enjoy the heck out of it. And we got a great field because they turned it into a signature event. So everybody didn't bail after the Masters. They just took the little trip down the coast because, shoot, they're already there. It's only a couple-hour drive. And they said, heck, I was playing this thing. And then maybe next week take a break. So, which, why wouldn't you? It's a team event, by the way, on the PGA Tour. So, anyhow, all right, folks. If you have any questions, let me know. Masters Celebration sale still going on. 50% off evaluation lessons, up to 40% off extra discounted pricing on all the packages as well. So, lots going on. Let's see. 2 weekend short game challenge. That ping giveaway is still out there. So if you can go find the post, I'll try to repost it again and do all the requirements. You'll get in the running for the free ping wedge. And everybody needs. Lucas Glover, about a week ago, talked about how going to the Masters. Yep, I had him duplicate my wedges again. I need fresh wedges about every month or two. I know nobody wants to hear that, but it's just the reality. The damn things get worn down, and they get worn down fast. So it is what it is. Everybody could use a free wedge. Trust me. I do know that much. So that'll be it for today, folks. Be looking online for everything. Twitters, the Instagrams, the Facebook, and the blah, 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 and the YouTube, of course. Smash like, subscribe, and be looking out for more. Lots of stuff coming as we get to the end of April, especially, and move into May. There's a ton of stuff happening right now. So, and then as we start to process our way through the summer, guess what? We're going to be getting ready for the next off season quicker than you can handle it. So, if you're going to skip the process for right now, which some have, I wouldn't delay. I wouldn't wait too long because literally, I mean, I know it's nice here and I get it, but right around basically October 1-ish or so, it's time to start settling in and really thinking about the next season hardcore before it gets too late. Just is what it is. So we got a few months to go. We'll do what we can. And, you know, if you want to just get better at like your short game or something, let's do it. So go ahead and hit me up. Email, call, text, whatever. Lots of stuff going on. Oh, today, this will be a little intro. I got a publication that's going to be showing up around the city at your local golf courses here. Probably have some of Brandon's shop at the pub for sure. The back nine will probably have a couple copies. And I don't know where else. Maybe a sports store, maybe a gas station here or there. I don't know. Something where it's easy to see and find. But free publication coming out to you soon. Be looking for it. It's all about golf. And it's on its way. So giddy up. It's happening. Everybody take care. This is Ryan Carpenter, P45 Knuckle Down Golf. We'll see you.